Hello everyone, this is UglyKatsuki and welcome to UglyKatsuki's Month of Terror. He he he. So how many movies have I done now? One, two, three, four. Oh, okay, this is day 5. So today's movie is Senseless. Now this is an interesting movie. I know I was very happy with Trailer Park of Terror. This is another movie I was quite happy with. I'm gonna say this right now. This movie is not. I'm surprised. Well, they put this in the horror genre in the Netflix menu. This isn't really horror. This is more, if I had to guess, maybe thriller. But I will say on a serious note that what's if there is a horror aspect, it's not so much the movie itself as much it's the message that it's trying to portray. So the plot of the movie is that the main guy, he gets kidnapped by these unknown people, and these people are claiming that he has done these kind of wrongdoings, so that's why he's being he's kidnapped, and he's like by himself in this pretty big place, but you know what I mean. He's a prisoner of this place, and what these people are trying to do is they're posting him in this prison. We'll just call it a prison. It's a room. It's got a bed. It's got a bathroom. It's got everything. But it's a prison nonetheless. And they're posting all of this on the internet for people to see. And what these... I'm going to call them radicalists. Is it radicalists? Radicalists? Extremists. We'll call them extremists. These people who kidnapped him are trying to... They're trying to get this message across that America is, that a lot of the world does not really appreciate the way that America presents itself, how it behaves with other countries, and the fact that a lot of other countries are suffering, yet these guys act the way they do, and that they're using this guy to set an example for everyone else. And so every few days they'll come in and they'll do something really horrible to the dude. Like what's the very first thing they did? They take out they pull his tongue out. Not like literally out. They're just enough for his tongue to come out, and they press an iron on it, and so they burn his tongue. And they're what they're trying to do is they're just trying to freak people out. They're trying to see how do I put this? They're just trying to get this message across that it's not okay for a country to, be this way, to act that way, while everyone else is kind of almost suffering in that aspect. And this movie was actually I enjoyed this movie. This movie is it hits really deep. It hits to the fact that the movie touches on a lot of things with human nature, and certainly revenge, at least for the extremist side. There's scenes with the main character regarding his past that is actually pretty disturbing to see. Not because it's violence or anything, but just because of what he does to other people, particularly one person. But I won't say what that is. But it's when you see it, you'll get a bad feeling in your stomach, you wouldn't it's hard to believe that someone could do that, but they do. And it's what makes this movie interesting. Yeah. And if you're not interested in the story, and if you're into things like, say, torture porn, like Hostel or Saw, then you can watch this movie too, because it has that. I already told you guys that the extremists, they iron his tongue. They'll do a whole bunch of other shit, and it's most of it, for the most part, I really couldn't care about. One in particular, it was kind of hard to watch. They do something to both of his hands, and I will not tell you what that is. You'll have to see it for yourself, if you want to see it. Which, you know what? I will encourage people to see this movie as well. Trailer Park of Terror was good, and this movie's good too. This movie is good not because of its... It's good because of the message that it's trying to portray. And there's an interesting twist near the end too. But I won't say what that is, of course, either, because it's pretty good. It's nothing that really affects the story in any way. It's just, again, it goes back to almost human nature in a weird way, or at least the bad side of human nature. I'll be fair and say that instead, because not everyone acts that way. But this is very interesting in a sense of, like, it really. I'm not going to say it hits home for me personally. I'm just saying it hits home in a sense that it's like, because this isn't like some kind of supernatural killer. These are just normal people, and they're acting the way they do because of all the injustice that's happening in the world. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. And well, yeah, it's just like humans just doing bad human things to each other. And I mean, any horror movie generally is that sense, but when you watch the movie, you'll see what I mean, because there's when the extremists are trying to get the attention of the whole world, that they're doing this to this man, that they've kept him locked up, and that they're torturing him, and you can see him suffering and stuff. They're trying to see if people would be like, well, do you want him out, or do you want us to continue? And what you find out is, oh yeah, there's plenty of people that want this guy to go free. But as many as people that want him to go free, there's still a lot of people that want to see him stay and, continue to get tortured. And there are a lot of there's a lot of topics about, human nature in that sense that are discussed throughout the movie. Like, people enjoy seeing the suffering of others as long as it's not them who's suffering. And, and it's really interesting stuff. And that's where, for me, the horror aspect comes from. Not because of the violence itself, but just the way that the people behave and how they think. That's the really scary part, because we don't want to believe that if you see, like, if you were to go to YouTube right now and you see a guy and he's getting, like, tortured, and say, if you, like, click the like button if you want him to stay and be tortured, and then click the dislike, the thumbs down, if you want him to be free. And it would be terrifying to see more people click the like button than as opposed to the thumbs down. And that's what you start to see in this movie, as more people press the thumbs up. And that's actually really, the scary part. But I urge people to see this. This is an interesting movie, and I really liked it. Acting, again, is great. Story's all right, It's really just more of finding out more about the characters, what motivates them to do this, But it's really enjoyable. It's enjoyable and interesting. It's very intriguing, But yeah, yes, Senseless. Senseless. The name of the movie is Senseless. So, I think I've covered everything I've wanted to say. So yeah, if you're looking for maybe a more deeper, violent movie, go check out Senseless. So, this is UglyKatsuki, and you have been listening to Day 5 of UglyKatsuki's Month of Horror. Take care.